Want to say thank you all for joining us. Hello and welcome. My name is Larissa. I am a Student Success Program Coordinator in the CHAMPS Peer Mentoring Program, and I'm pleased to host Unlocking Belonging, AI Literacy as the Key to Inclusive Higher Education. By joining us today, you acknowledge that this session is being recorded and will be shared with the TLC-related materials. Microphones must be muted for this presentation, but we encourage you to post questions and comments in the chat. Also, we have enabled live transcription. If you would like to use it, click on the live transcription button at the bottom of your Zoom window. Now I'm pleased to introduce you to Louis Cintani and Karen Mentee. Louis has been with the University of Arizona Global Campus Writing Center since 2019 and has been teaching writing, rhetoric, and composition at the university level since 2011. Louis specializes in all forms of writing, from fiction to business to academic. In 2021, he won the Vanguard Award for Best Overall Presentation here at TLC with Scaffolding for Success, How to Incorporate Library and Writing Resources in the Curriculum at the Point of Need. Karen Mentee is an outreach librarian with the University of Arizona Global Campus and the liaison to the Forbes School of Business and Technology. As a librarian, she works directly with students to help them navigate the research process, and she works directly with faculty on finding low-cost and no-cost resources for courses and incorporating information literacy instruction into the course curriculum. Thank you so much for joining us today, and now I turn it over to both Karen and Louis.
Thank you, Larissa, and thank you everybody for attending here today. I am Louis, and Karen and I are really happy to bring this presentation to all of you today because it's something that is very near and dear to our practices as Writing Center and library support here at UAGC. The concept of unlocking belonging for people who maybe feel like they don't belong in the educational world is something that matters a lot to us as support staff. And we want to talk about how AI can fit into that, because we believe that a lot of what we're doing around AI right now is our hearts are in the right place, but by changing some of the language around it, maybe we can change some of the results around how students are utilizing it as well. And so we see a problem in education. It's been a problem for a long time, and you can see, we're called an ivory tower for a reason. Students often feel alienated when they come to the college experience. They feel isolated when they're, especially the online student, really doesn't feel like they have that community. They worry that they're missing essential knowledge that they can't access through simple questions and through simple learning process. And because of that, they really feel like they don't belong. And all that leads to what is discussed in the Moore text below as what's called transactional distance theory. Basically, that means that the further away that people are from the learning community, the less they feel like they belong in it. And that's a big problem, obviously, with the modern online learners. And that's where the new solution is generative AI for a lot of people that are creating these resources and supports. And I think one thing that we maybe don't talk about enough is how the way we frame our students' understanding of these tools is sort of impacting not only the utility of the tools, but also kind of the feelings around them. And so looking at some research, we noticed that there are a lot of ways that the instructors are allowing students to leverage these tools. 37% of these instructors that were surveyed said that brainstorming is fine, 23% outlining, drafting and revising. There's some overlap in these numbers. Some probably are fitting into multiple categories, but what threw us was that nearly half, 42%, completely prohibit the use, which in a lot of ways made sense at first because of the fears and the threats to academic integrity. But the more we dive into learning how these tools work, the more it feels like that might be a short-sighted approach. And it's leading students to ultimately view these things in a singular way. I went around and randomly selected 50 students around campus, and I asked them a very simple question. When you consider the idea of using AI on assignments for school, what is the first word that comes to mind? And it was not close. You can see that the plurality of students said cheating. And you can even see if you dive into these words a little bit more, is a near majority of these words have what you would consider to be a negative connotation. You see plagiarism there is relatively large, unethical. Even something like easy, I think, in a sense, is something that we don't necessarily want students to be viewing it as sort of a shortcut, as much as we want it to be used, like we see tool, enhancement, beneficial. So there's some jumbled ideas about what can happen out there. And ultimately, as long as we as instructors and as staff and faculty and so on and so forth are referring to AI tools solely in the negative, students will see them in the negative, and that will change the way they utilize them. So I'm going to turn it over to Karen now.
Thank you, Louie. So the plain truth, and what we all know because we're probably seeing it every day, sometimes in glaring examples because of careless adoption, but generative AI is disrupting the nature of the work we do. So drawing on a 2024 Deloitte report on generative AI and the future of work, we can see that AI literacy is an essential skill for the 21st century digital workplace. And this report highlights that generative AI is disrupting the nature of work by creating content that supports our own skills in the workplace. So people are still at the center of the work that we do, that network of people in blue here. But AI is transforming our processes, our abilities, our productivity, from writing memos to writing reports and building presentations, to designing graphics, to creating custom marketing content, to exploring new communication channels, curating employee training programs. So much of the work that is done across many different professions can now be supported by AI. So without the exposure, training, and practice to understand the benefits and the limitations and the ethical uses of these tools, students really risk alienation in the workforce. We have a responsibility and an opportunity about where can students expect to gain AI literacy skills. So this quote is from the 2024 Deloitte report, from that report on generative AI and the future of work. And I just think it sums it up really well. If humans can use generative AI to complete tasks faster, easier, or better than they could before the technology, because the technology has certain skills, then we can start to assign tasks differently. This is a key to success. Technology is not directly replacing jobs, rather it's changing the tasks and the skills we use to get the work done. So it's that assigning tasks differently that really resonated with me for a key to success. We have a responsibility to guide students in understanding these tools and mastering them, or they will not have a place of belonging and aspirations for success in the job market. It's changing the tasks that we do, and therefore it's probably time that we also change the tasks they are doing in higher education to prepare them for the workforce. This slide, this is a Richard Baldwin quote from a 2023 Growth Summit on AI from the World Economic Forum. And I just think it drives the point home. AI won't take your job. It's someone using AI who will take your job. Thank you.
So that's where we see an opportunity. So with this problem, AI's with us. It's going to continue advancing. It's going to continue taking hold in the educational world, and students are going to get their hands on it as well. And so we see an opportunity here then to kind of leverage this and get the best out of this, not only for the tools themselves, but for students to somehow belong in the community of higher education. And the words that we use around AI absolutely matter. There was a study just last year by Chan and Hu that talked about how the student perceptions and understanding of the value of any educational tool really directly impacts their usage. And this is why that first kind of word map showing how cheating is so central to the connotation of AI is important. Because if students feel like the tool is used for cheating, then the students who could benefit from it will not use it because it's cheating. And the students who are going to cheat will use it to cheat. And so there is no benefit if that's the connotation around AI. On the flip side, another study more recently even showed that students share concerns about AI's effect on their own ability to learn. And because of that, they're not actively trying to misuse it. So that gives us this further opportunity then to be able to find a way to show students how maybe these tools, when discussed differently can lead to different usage that allows students to belong a little bit better. Some of the interviews that I did in that earlier survey led to these quotes. I thought these were a little bit insightful. One student told me that some professors forced us to use it, meaning AI, on an assignment and showed us how. Now I use it to help me when I can't figure out how to start. And that's an example of a student who was given permission to explore and engage that now is using it in a way that feels a little bit more ethical to that student because they see some of that gray area as shaping up a little bit. On the flip side, another student told me, I don't use it because I just don't want to get in trouble. And I said, how do you think your professors are using AI? And they responded, probably to check if we're plagiarizing. A very narrow view of what AI can do, which gets rid of all of the utility of what Karen was discussing in the previous slide and all of the possibilities for students who maybe struggle to enter the academic world. And this was one of my favorite interviews, just in terms of how it developed. The student kind of told me, first they said, is this going to go anywhere? And I was like, no, you can be honest. And they said, well, I use it, but I don't tell anyone. And I said, well, do you feel like you're cheating? They said, no, I don't copy any of it, but I do ask it to help me say things better. I mean, I have used it to copy, but I don't usually. And then when I responded by saying, do you think that you would use it to copy if your teachers knew you were using it? They said, no way. If the teacher is aware of it and is talking about it, and if it's out in the open, students take the onus upon themselves to use it more responsibly. When it is hidden in a dark room behind closed doors and the student feels like it's bad, they're going to be more tempted to use it in ways that they feel like they have to hide. And so that's where we really looked into this idea then of, what if we start referring to AI more as a collaborator or even a helper? This is something that is backed by a lot of research. Anybody familiar with the writing text, they say, I say, knows that the power of templates have been studied in depth, and students who frame their academic ideas through templated sentences have shown great success and growth in their writing. And over time, stop relying on the template because they're learning how to put their words into the academic discourse in a better way. Other research, and this came from the Graham and Perrin study at the bottom, you can see that a lot of research showed that writing with a peer, a mentor, or even a teacher, writing alongside them, developed fantastic growth among, this study was middle school and high school students, but that can apply to students who've been out of school for a while and maybe don't have the same kind of, they're shaking the rust off a little bit. By working alongside AI, they're able to grow these skills in the same way that they would alongside a peer or mentor. They get that instant engagement when it comes to researching. And it's not about asking AI to give them the research, but it could be about asking AI to direct them towards better ways to find research. And that's a really important thing we can teach students. But more than anything, perhaps, when it comes to belonging, the students who feel like they don't belong sometimes need to just be familiarized with the language of a discipline or of the academic world. And this AI tool, or these AI tools, are really helpful in giving students that access. It's a low-risk way for them to get feedback. They don't have to, they can do it from the comfort of their own home. And if they know it's okay, and if they know how to do it ethically, they're going to ask questions that maybe they'd be too shy to ask their instructors and get the help they need more directly. The personalized questions, getting personalized answers, ultimately creating that sense of belonging, not just in school, but in the workplace as well, for students who maybe feel like they don't fit in. You're on mute, Karen.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yes, so Louis and I feel strongly these generative AI tools can foster a sense of belonging for students in an efficient way by engaging them instantaneously in dialogue that can spark their curiosity about a topic. They can get unknown terms defined for them immediately. They can summarize complicated theories in language in a way that's easier for them to understand. So this really grants an inroad to the scholarly conversation that often can feel elusive or overwhelming, especially for non-traditional students who are just beginning to find their academic voice. So as a librarian, I get excited about how generative AI provides this inroad to the research process. So well suited. It's so well suited for the research process, which has a very steep learning curve as part of the hidden curriculum that so often affects non-traditional students. This assignment here is a basic example of how a research assignment can be tweaked. The tasks involved can be changed in distinct ways to give students practice using AI tools and practice thinking critically about them. For example, prompting students to approach a tool like ChatGPT with specific prompts related to research tasks, formulating a research question, exploring subtopics, exploring controversies, formulating keywords. All these things are immersing them in the language of their discipline, expanding their understanding of their topic in an instant, and even inviting it, maybe, to suggest sources for them to use. Now, this, though, is where we really begin to veer into non-independent work, of course. But just as we learn the most through failure, I think it's important for students to see for themselves how ChatGPT and tools like that can fail, and putting a very fine point in the curriculum on that. Because in part 2, you can ask the students to reflect, to fact check, to question the results they get. Do the sources it suggested for them actually exist? Fortifying them then with a healthy distrust of the tool, understanding what it can do, where its ability to collaborate is, and what its limits are, demonstrating appropriate uses, and then catching it when it messes up.
And that's a big key here, because then you kind of get into research and writing are intertwined. Getting into this similar assignment where you want students to engage meaningfully and critically with something like generative AI, you could have a part 3 component where they write a discussion post examining the quality of a ChatGPT written composition of what they're asking it to do earlier. And something that I've done this assignment with many of my classes, where I have asked students to essentially tell ChatGPT or Gemini or another tool of their choice to write them an academic essay, and to copy and paste that essay as an appendix to a paper where we analyze it. And I ask them to identify 2 moments where they feel like AI is truly helpful, two moments where it's less helpful in learning about how to write better academically. And then they have to get into those higher order Bloom's taxonomy concepts of analyzing what is helpful about reading AI's writing and evaluating to what extent they believe that the tool is ethical to use based on what they're seeing. What I have found in an assignment like this is that students take that responsibility and run with it. They don't just casually and kind of dangerously accept that what AI has written or is doing is good enough or is even good. Instead, they start picking it apart, and that engagement makes them better thinkers, because now they're looking at weaknesses in writing that, for all intents and purposes, is sound grammatical writing. And they're getting deeper into the kind of nature of what you're trying to say between the lines, of how the impact of those words is going to sound different based on your audience, your purpose, so on and so forth. This is really an amazing opportunity for the students to see. And like Karen said, we're not telling them that this is a perfect tool, you should use it all the time for everything, but hey, when you use it, we can see the flaws, learn how to become better thinkers, and that will inherently grow within us the capabilities that we maybe didn't have access to before.
Good points, Louie. So, of course, integrating AI into education, it's exciting, but it requires a deliberate approach. Institutions need to lead with clear guidance. Faculty need flexibility, and students, they need to build a solid foundation in what we call AI literacy. Let's not just use AI because it's new and flashy. Let's use it because it's enhancing their learning. It's fostering critical thinking, and it's preparing our students for a world where AI is only going to grow in importance. Students must be taught strategies now to help them interact with these tools in ways that will grant them maximum benefit, while also protecting their independent learning experience, which, as Louie pointed out, the research shows they do want to protect that experience. AI literacy, it's tangential to information literacy, which is a skill such as recognizing misinformation, which I think we can all agree is a challenge, becoming all the more dire by the minute, but it's an essential task for today's learners. If students aren't taught strategies such as how to prompt a tool like ChatGPT in effective ways, and then how to critique these outputs carefully, they will lack the skills to navigate information effectively in the future. Conversely, if we can equip them with these skills to effectively and ethically use generative AI to push their knowledge and research further, while also having the confidence to think critically about it, we're enabling them to be lifelong learners, even as AI is shifting the ground that we walk on as we speak. So I'm going to drop in the chat a resource called Using Generative AI to Support Research and Writing. This is, there are many resources out there to guide students in AI use and guide faculty in AI integration. I know I've heard from many people so far at this conference that are well informed in this space, and please feel free to drop any favorite resources that you find particularly useful on this topic into the chat. This is the page that the learning support team that Louie and I are part of has built on using generative AI to guide students with research and writing. Please note, this is really only a small subset of the potential uses and necessary guidance, I think, for AI literacy at UAGC, sorry. What the research has shown is that faculty, they're really looking to their institution for guidance. So this is an area for growth. We have some work to do. So where do we begin? Well, a colleague shared this with me a few months back, and I think it's a great resource that I, for one, am really interested in hearing people's thoughts on if they've had any luck adapting something or a similar guide at their institution. It can feel overwhelming where to start. I offer this as an example. This was created by Elon University and the American Association of Colleges and Universities. Importantly, though, it was created under a Creative Commons license that allows users to remix, adapt, and build upon this original material for non-commercial purposes with attribution. But what I like about this guide is it provides a holistic view of AI for students and also for faculty. It contains quotes on the state of AI in higher education that really set the tone from leadership, which we've talked, as Louie made very clear, the words that we use around this really matter. It provides clear but flexible policy guidance that directs students where to look for the AI policy in their course syllabus, but it ultimately gives instructors the power to decide what that looks like for their course. And the meat of the guide is a practical how-to manual, a checklist to help students ensure they're remaining inside the ethical boundaries of AI. It gives a brief look at different AI tools, in-depth examples of how to prompt everything from basic prompting to more advanced prompting to meta prompting. And it also extends the benefits of AI to the realms outside of research and writing, what Louie and I have been talking about, but the realms of career services, lifestyle benefits, personal benefits such as time management, home organization, recipe planning, exercise, etc. So if this sounds like a guide you'd like to discuss further with me, our learning support team, we're very interested in looking at this with other departments at UAGC and seeing what we might be able to build with this that could extend across our entire institution. Please email us. And if you're from another institution, if you've adapted this guide or created a similar guide for your institution or are interested maybe in doing that, please, I'd love to talk to you. Please reach out.
And so at the end, where we're left is there's so many uses for AI that are ethical and that are going to help people belong in their communities. Like Karen mentioned, even outside of academics, I use AI all the time I'm on a trip right now, and I asked it to help me list what I needed to pack in my suitcase. This is the kind of thing that it can do. And if we teach students how to prompt ethically, they're going to get the benefits without running into those fears that we've instilled in them, maybe a little bit too strongly at this point, because right now there's a large subset of students, a plurality of students who fear using these tools because they don't want to get slapped on the wrist or worse. And they're losing the ability to maybe learn language, to learn methods, and to leverage these tools to become better learners, better thinkers, better citizens. And so we kind of use the metaphor of taming a lion, because the truth of the matter is that AI is strong. What it can do is powerful, and it's dangerous, just like a lion. And like at any good circus, if you don't tame the lion, you're going to see a lot of potential disasters going on. The crowd will not be happy about it. The lion tamer certainly won't be feeling very good about it. But if we can tame this lion and get our students to understand how to use this powerful tool, well, suddenly we're going to be able to have all the benefits. And students who have been left out for far too long are going to have the keys to find their way of belonging in higher education. And that's what Karen and I want to continue discussing with all of you. We want to move ideas around, and we want to work towards a world where students don't feel like they're left out. just because they're online students, just because they're non-traditional students, but they have tools that can help them get that equity to succeed. With that, I believe we move into questions and answers.
Any questions? I'm seeing some positive responses in the chat. Thank you all. Thank you.
I noticed that there are a couple of comments below about instructors who are asking students to use AI already in specific ways. And Dr. Peterson, that's definitely something that I think is an important part of this conversation. Is handing the keys to AI to students and saying use it requires, like Karen mentioned, that specificity, that guidance. Because if students know how that we want them to use it, they're going to use it that way. And that's going to give them the benefits long term.
It looks like Martin has a question. Is there a way to access your PowerPoint and resources for the presentation today? Will you be sending that out?
Happy to send it out. Absolutely. Anybody who wants it, Larissa, if there's any way for them, they can just reach out to us, or they can reach out through TLC, and happy to send it to whoever wants any of it. I'm putting my email address in the chat just in case anybody wants to send an email there. Karen's is just library, and I'm putting hers in as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? We're really glad to have all of you here with us today.
Looks like some thank yous in the chat. I want to thank everyone for joining today. Thank you, Louie and Karen, and thank you to the audience for your participation in today's session. I will link a survey in the chat. If you can, please provide feedback and nominate TLC presentations for conference awards and share your feedback on your conference experience. We do encourage you to attend the next featured presentation, which is Building Belonging with Military Students Through Student-Teacher Relationships, which takes place at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Enjoy the rest of your TLC.
Thank you.
And Larissa, there are a couple of extra questions. Should we just have them sent to us after, or should we answer them here before we depart?
You have 3 minutes. I would say answer them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
That last question that I see, because I answered one about perplexity.ai. I mentioned that's one I haven't explored, Jody, and I don't know if Karen has, but I would love to look into it and have a conversation about it, because ChatGPT isn't the most scholarly. But prompting it can help you get a lot more of what you want. And so I'm big into layered prompting and follow-up questions and talking to it like a friend more than a electronic tool. That really does help me get a lot more out of ChatGPT. Grace's question about should AI assignments be created for every course in higher education, ChatGPT assignments. I'm always hesitant to use the word should. Maybe that's my therapy speak coming out. But if you have an AI assignment, that can get them to critically engage with AI. But if you teach them how to use AI by incorporating it on assignments that already exist, I think you're probably going to get a deeper, more meaningful benefit out of it in the long run. If every class had an AI assignment, I think over time that would maybe lose its value. But students who are able to engage with it in that, like Dr. Peterson said, highly specific, guided way, I think are going to start applying that knowledge to their upcoming assignments and classwork as well. So short answer, I don't know if it should be for every course in higher education. Long answer is I do think it should be incorporated in every course somehow. Karen, did you have anything to add to that? Karen still here or no? She may have departed.
I think she had to leave because she was hosting the session right after.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's totally fine. And Jody, I will look into that. That's great. The citations as a writing center person, I'm highly, even stuff that we use that is highly reliable, like RefWorks. I always double check citations on my own because I trust my manual more than I trust the tools. But I want to look into that. That sounds really cool. Great. Well, again, much appreciated everyone who's here. Thank you so much, Larissa, for helping out, Marissa for being here, and yeah, use AI, use it well, and tame that lion.
Thank you so much, everyone.